What up, my podcast people?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Motherhood Unhinged. My name's Chandra.
Courtney.
Chelsea.
And today we get to talk about the raw, the real, and the messy and the beautiful parts of motherhood.
And today is an episode that is just really close to all of our hearts.
We're talking about that deep stuff, that deep depression and anxiety.
We're kind of bringing it to the personal side of it. We're not professionals by any means, but we've all lived it. And today we brought in a special guest, Caitlyn. She happens to be our sister-in-law. She's going to kind of bravely share her journey on postpartum depression and anxiety.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Postpartum depression and anxiety is something that I'm becoming more passionate about the more I learn about it. And it's one of those things that you can feel super alone and super isolated, but it's actually a lot more common than you think it is.
Mm-hmm. It's super common. It feels totally different for multiple people. Like, it's not going to be the same for you as it is for you and any mom in general. So we'll kind of talk about like what postpartum depression anxiety feels like. Courtney, how about you? How did it feel for you?
Honestly, I didn't really struggle with a ton of the depression part of it, but the anxiety, woo, it's real. It's real bad.
So not necessarily feeling sad, but just worrying too much.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there was a point right after we had Langston where I remember looking at Trent, and I think we talked about this in a previous episode, how you look at your husband and you look at your baby and you're supposed to just be on cloud nine. And I was, but at the same time, I remember looking at Trent and crying and being like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I'm happy, but I don't know what else is going on. Like, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's like there's no rhyme or reason behind why. You just can't stop the flood.
Yes. And then I know earlier we talked about how...
Move a little closer, just...
Yeah. Move a little closer.
Don't make fun of us.
And I do know, like, earlier we talked about just different parts of the depression. Like, it's not just feeling sad all the time. Mm-hmm. And postpartum anxiety is not worrying too much at all. But there's, like, that side where we talked about the mom rage.
The mom
like,
rage is what
the
I had.
overstimulation.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely felt that. And
I told them to get me a hat that says, like, overstimulated. And Caitlyn said, give me a shirt. Like, it's this... the feeling for me of the... not really the depression, but the anxiety was like too many, I don't know, you think of like neurons and electrical pings going off in your head at the same time. And it's like, okay, something's got to slow down. Something's got to stop. Just everybody halt, you know? Yeah. And that, I mean,
it's
to
like
this
all
day.
5 of your senses firing at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, something's too loud. You can't see something straight. Or like when you're driving and you don't know where you're going, you turn your music down. Like that's what it feels like in your brain.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Yes.
That's wild to think about that you said that, because every time it's like, I'm not going to see better if I turn down the music.
I catch myself, and every time I do that, I'm like, why am I doing
I did it on the
this?
way here. Nora's like, why'd you turn the music down? I was like, I don't know where I'm going.
I drove the whole 45 minutes in complete silence. I love it.
Was there a point in time where you're like, was I even driving? Like, have I been in this vehicle this whole time?
Yeah.
I think that kind of stems back to some of the anxiety and depression is like, you kind of have like this outer body experience of like, what, did I just drive 45 minutes to my sister's house and I have no idea I actually did that?
Yeah. I just think sometimes you need that quiet after you are so anxious and going through so much all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But
Go ahead.
but definitely with like the anxiety part, everybody knows, and I've mentioned it before, we had lost our first son at 40 weeks. He was stillborn. We'll talk about that another time. But going into my second pregnancy with our son, Langston, that made my pregnancy this go around just that much more anxiety ridden. And then postpartum anxiety, 10 times worse. There's just still not a moment 11 months in where I'm not thinking in the back of my head, is something going to happen? Like those intrusive thoughts, like worrying, like, when's the ball going to drop? Am I doing something wrong? Is he going to be okay? Is there an underlying issue that I don't know? Like, I'm just always spiraling.
Like awaiting for that bad news.
Yeah.
Like you pray there is none, but like, you're like, it happened to me once.
And how awful can like things be going so good and you're still just like, what's going to happen?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the bad coming?
Mm-hmm.
I catch myself doing that a lot where I'm like, everything seems so good, but it's like I just have this thought, like, when, like you said, when's that ball gonna drop?
Is that like the mother's intuition popping out? Like
yes, I'm like, is this like a,
it's like when your kids
what's
get
it
sick,
called
you like
whenever
know
you see
it's
something?
coming.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
I get
Or
that
is
a
this-
lot.
Yeah, I know.
And that is
lot.
the weirdest thing
It
to
is.
me.
It's so bizarre.
You know what I just realized, though?
What?
You guys were both so rude for not letting her introduce herself and a little about her backstory. And here we are rambling.
We already
Let's
started.
do Welcome to Motherhood.
It's because they already know. They're like, no, we know her. It's just Kaitlyn. Rude. Anyways, Kaitlyn.
Yes.
How old are you? Where'd you come from? How many kids do you have? Do you have a husband? Let's introduce you.
I do.
Okay.
So I'm 33.
Okay.
I think. Yes, 33.
You lose
How old
count.
are you?
I'll be 33.
Then I am 33. Yes. I've been married to my husband Jake for almost 11 years.
Together forever.
Together since we were 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
We
a long time.
have 3 kiddos. We have a little girl who's 7, a little boy who's 4, and another little girl who is a day younger than Langston.
Yes.
You both were pregnant at the same
We were
time.
pregnant at the same time. I'm an IVF mom. All 3 of my kids came from in vitro fertilization.
Which we will recap with her in another episode when we talk about
So,
becoming a mom and the difficulties with that.
yeah. So I have 3 kiddos. Just keeping my head on straight these days.
Yeah, that's
Trying to
I
stay
can do.
afloat.
Yeah. Yeah.
trying not to overstimulate and
Right.
pass out.
With school coming up too, it's like, okay, do I have all the school
Yeah.
supplies?
Oh
do I have
my
all
gosh.
this stuff?
I'm proud of myself. I started early.
Yeah,
this year.
we're pretty on top of it. Target
Okay,
had
is
some
there-
great sales.
Do you have a supply list already?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got ours like the first week of June. Good old Perry County.
Now
Guess I haven't
she's
looked
gonna
at my
go
email.
into the anxiety part of it. So kind of like recapping on what PPD and anxiety can feel like Courtney mentioned intrusive thoughts, the feeling of like numbness, loneliness, withdrawing, irritability. Am I missing any?
Like your sense of worth goes
Oh, yeah.
kind of crazy.
In the crapper. a
Tanker.
little bit.
Confidence. Ugh.
Yeah, the confidence.
For sure. Okay, let's talk about like the guilt that you can get from postpartum depression and like trying to like snap out of it.
Yeah.
I know you kind of talked about like why am I upset like I shouldn't be upset? Is that something like you have personally?
Yeah, so mine actually stemmed during my pregnancy with Lainey, with our last one. In the IVF world, everything's a little bit of a roller coaster, which I think if you get pregnant naturally, it's all a roller coaster
Sure.
too. But
But I feel like your journey, which like I said, we'll talk about this in another
Yeah.
one, but like your guys' journey is a longer roller coaster.
it's sometimes.
Sometimes.
So Lainey's transfer, her frozen embryo transfer, like with IVF, you're just you're like in the know with everything all the time. Like, you know, like specific details about your body that like I didn't learn in 10th grade anatomy class. Like, you don't even know. So, and I'll dive into this in a different segment and things like that. But you have your transfer and you wait 10 days and then you get your blood drawn. So you have your beta level, your first beta level. And anything over a 5 is considered a positive pregnancy test. So I remember my nurse, Sam, calling me and saying, hey, great news. You're at an 88. That's fantastic. Whatever. And so like, then the next step is you want to make sure that HCG number doubles in 48 hours.
Okay.
And I'll never forget, I was at my boss's house in St. Louis because all the clinics are north. We don't have any down here. And I got a call from my nurse, Sam, and she's like, hey, Caitlyn, I could just tell in the tone of her voice something was wrong. And she said, your HCG dropped to like an 81. And she's like, which is not ideal. That's not really what we want to see at this point, but we're going to wait it out and we're going to see. Well, we were very, very close to Christmas time. So I transferred Lainey on Uncle Jim's birthday, December 5th, the day after Jake's birthday. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my gift from Uncle Jim. Like, we're going to have this. We didn't know what the gender was.
I know.
And everything else. And so I was starting to get labs drawn at our local hospital just because with the craziness of Christmas time, people were off and people were short-staffed and my numbers kept doubling. And she's like, I do not understand what's happening here. And I thought in the back of my head, I know exactly what's happening here. Jim's up there and he's going to make something happen.
Uh-huh.
And so then I had my first ultrasound the day after Christmas with Lainey, and we were potentially thinking like ectopic pregnancy with the way my levels dropped and I was feeling really, really sick really fast and things like that. And we had a really strong heartbeat.
So you got to hear her heartbeat the day Ivy was born.
Yeah, the day Ivy was born. Yeah.
Love it.
So I think that stemmed my anxiety with that level dropping so early.
I was just about to ask too, with you saying you knew like literally everything while going through this hair. You think that is
think it
a little
adds to
bit
it.
worse than just a normal pregnancy.
It is, but I've never like experienced what a normal, like I've never peed on a stick and gotten a pregnant. I took it's so funny. I took a pregnancy test after your wedding reception because I thought I went too hard. I was up on my feet all day. I was only like 6 weeks pregnant with Caden at the time, and so I was nervous. So I had a pregnancy test and I took it just for that
You're like,
confirmation.
this is what this feels like.
Yeah, because I'd never done it before. All of my pregnancy tests were
Blood work.
Yeah, and Nora is my oldest, and I had a 5-week miscarriage with my first transfer before Nora, and then we transferred 2 embryos with Nora. And so I think the anxiety stemmed just from the beginning of it all. You know so much with IVF, and then when things go good, you're waiting for that other shoe to drop.
Right.
Am I going to lose this pregnancy? Am I going to... And getting pregnant with Lainey the same time Courtney was pregnant with Langston, obviously Gatlin lives rent-free in all of our heads. You think about that sweet boy all the time, but I thought things can change so fast in that first trimester, but look at somebody who's so close to me who it changed when they should have been delivering.
Yeah,
Right,
like at the end.
Yeah.
It stems it a lot. I feel like I walked through my last pregnancy with Lainey kind of with like my head down. Like knowing it was going to be my last pregnancy, I think kind of took a toll on me, but also knowing that there was such a roller coaster with it really just like stemmed it even more.
And I think with you feeling that way, and then me going through my first pregnancy post Gatlin, we like really, when I say we leaned on each other, like
It was
we
heavy.
leaned on, I think we were texting every day.
The
She would
snap
tell
streak
me,
was strong.
oh yeah,
Strong.
how are you feeling? How, like, I don't even know. We'd be in our recliners in the evening talking about our kick counts, making sure everything was good. Every time we seen each other, how are you feeling? But how are you feeling? And I don't know.
Is this normal? Did you feel this? And like I had been there. I'd been pregnant 2 other times, and I think every pregnancy there's just something new that brings that to the forefront. And you know, the kick counts and things had changed from when I had Nora to when I had Lainey. Like they didn't talk about kick counts a whole lot as they did my first pregnancy, and like we would send pictures and you could see these babies just rolling in our bellies and everything else. And I was like, how are you, are you feeling okay? And things like that. And she's like, is this normal? I'm like, I don't know, is this normal? She's like, you've had kids, like.
And it was really cool because we see the same doctor too, so we were able to kind of play off like, what'd you find out, or what are you finding out? And I don't know, it was just really cool to have somebody so close go through not that you want each other to be anxiety ridden,
right,
but like to go through that roller coaster together.
Have somebody to understand how you feel in that time.
And I think some of the things that she was experiencing with Langston, I had dealt with Caden and Nora more so than Lainey. Like Lainey kind of brought her own set of pregnancy challenges with me. But I could speak to some of the things that she was asking. Whereas when I would ask questions, we were both just kind of like, guess we're gonna have to ask Dr. Rogers because we don't know.
Right.
So
Listen, people, we just had a malfunction. Camera died. I got it covered. Okay. Anyways, back at it.
Back at like the guilt. I like my mom had lost her firstborn. Courtney had lost her firstborn. It's like we're at 36 weeks. We knew we were delivering at 37, 38. And I had this guilt, like, am I going to make the wrong decision? Because, I mean, this was my first child. I didn't know what was leading up to it, They're like, do you want to do vaginal? Do you want to do section? And I just remember breaking down in that appointment and Josh sitting there like, what is wrong with you?
they just stare at you.
Yeah. They don't know what to do.
I'm
They're
just like, I don't know which decision to make. And I kind of just wanted to put it on the doctor because I didn't want to feel that guilt.
Well, you don't want to live with it.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, what do you think I should do? And basically they're like, it's your decision. And I'm like, I really don't know what to do. And I just remember bawling.
I think there's guilt across the board though. There's guilt with how you deliver, and you can go in with a delivery plan and then it goes freaking right out the window. But there's also guilt with having other children at home.
Oh my gosh.
And Lainey's delivery was such a whirlwind, and it was kindergarten open house and it was preschool, and I had to like count on my parents, which I'm so blessed that they were able to do that. But the guilt of, well, now I can't be there and do this stuff with you and everything else. And how's it going to be when you get home? Because like we were officially outnumbered at that point. I think the guilt ranges from the time you get pregnant through the rest of your life. I don't think there's ever going to be a break.
Guilt
in it.
is the inner critic.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to learn that you can live with like this.
Keep going.
You can live with gratitude in like the depression and like it can all like coexist
They can coexist,
together.
yeah, for sure. I think that the guilt played a part in, and Courtney can attest to this too, because we delivered at the same place a day apart. The nurses we had are like unmatched. I remember posting one time about like how you can be like so joyful about this new little life, but you can also just feel like so down and depressed. And one of the nurses, who I just absolutely adore, said, just know that grief and joy can coexist, and that you can grieve what is now your last baby, but you can also have joy that she's here and she's safe and she's healthy. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, that is so applicable in more than just delivery. You know, the guilt is the inner critic, and you've got to shut it off sometimes. And it's so hard to do, but
you can be grateful and still struggling.
Yeah,
for sure.
I really like that, the whole coexist thing, because I think a lot of people don't understand that although you might be happy or should be happy, you can also be sad and grieving the things that maybe you lost or you once were as a mom.
Yeah.
And now you're something totally different. Yeah, coexist.
It's a powerful word when you
is.
think about the two things that you're comparing.
It
is.
is.
It's not even a comparison. It's a coexistence.
Yeah.
So.
And we're all professionals at coexistence. I mean, we're moms, so we coexist every single day in a household full of chaos.
Yeah. What hat you going to put on? Mom, wife, overstimulated.
Literally. Oh my gosh.
Or employee. I mean, you got that too. I mean, there's
working full time. Yeah.
caravan driver, grocery shopper,
Meal prepper,
personal maid,
Oh my
laundry
gosh.
doer.
all the hats, you know. So let's go into talking about when to ask for help and what it looks like. I've never personally been diagnosed with the PPD or the anxiety. I self-diagnosed, like I knew I developed some anxiety with it. But also like with my story, everybody knows going from 0 kids to 4,
Right.
Or 3 and then 4, like that anxiety just was like, because I never filled that role before, you know. Camera's down again.
Okay, just keep going.
So like when did you know that you needed to ask for help?
I knew I needed to ask for help before I even got pregnant. And I've been on anxiety medication, not pregnant on top of it. Like I have a very anxious background. Like I've always just been that anxious person. Pregnancy seemed to just really ramp it up.
Do you think it was like hormonal or just a worry?
I think it was just a worrier. I think I didn't know what to do with it, so I internalized it a lot and didn't get it out when I probably should have. But I think postpartum is different for everybody. In my I had postpartum anxiety and depression with my first 2, but I felt like Lainey's kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. And I think I was probably like 5 or 6 months postpartum. And I remember going to my OB's office and I was like, I need help. Like at this point, I feel like I just need to be sedated. Like I was beyond, I couldn't control anything. I couldn't control my emotions. I couldn't control how I felt when Caitlyn threw a block. I like the rage came out. When I think of depression, I think of, and it's so stereotypical, and I know this is going to sound so bad, but I think of people who like have no willingness to do anything. Like they just want to stay in bed all day. That was not me. I wanted to go, but I was exhausting myself from the time I got up to the time it was time to go to bed. And I think that's motherhood. But then I realized something's not right here. Like I shouldn't have to feel this way. And I remember holding Lainey one day and I was just sobbing. And Jake was like, what is wrong? And I was like, I don't know. Like I couldn't even put into words. And then your, at the time, 6-year-old looks at you and says, what's wrong with mom? Like, why is she crying? And that's when I knew I needed help. And I remember going into that appointment and saying, you know, you have to answer those questions, those like 7 or 8 questions. Like, when do you have deep, dark thoughts? Or are you sleeping? Are you constant worry? And I had answered like every day on every single one of those questions. And I'll never forget my doctor. Like I just completely broke down and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, I just want you to let you know that this does not define who you are as a mother. You can have postpartum anxiety and depression and that doesn't make you a bad mom. And he said, but we need to help you because you need to show up to your best ability that you can every single day. And so we had ramped up some anxiety medication. We started counseling. And I actually just had like a 3-month follow-up with him like last week, I think. It was, it's a lot. Mine presented in many different ways with the rage and the you
like, would you say the crying often?
The crying
like
often, which I'm emotional anyway. I can cry throughout that.
Like feeling hopeless or anything like that?
Feeling hopeless and just like not knowing. I think the uncertainty of what the next day was going to bring really just did me in. And I think like the bedtime routine of, okay, we need to feed the baby and we need to bathe the other two. Did everybody eat dinner? I need to fold this laundry. You know, like there was no routine. And I think I struggled with that significantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I mean, we got hormones anyways, let alone depression, anxiety, any of that on top of the everyday. Like that, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It helps that there's like tons of options in today's society, like of resources, counselors, therapy, meds, support groups.
Yeah.
Like your PCPs.
Yeah.
Like,
It was nice to know though too that like once you find, like I was very open about mine. I think I shared it on like my Instagram story one day that I'd been diagnosed with severe postpartum anxiety and depression, and there were multiple people that had reached out and said, I just want you to know like I'm in the same boat you are. And I think I had delivery disappointment with Lainey too, and I think that really fed into a lot of that.
Yeah.
being around like moms who can support and who get that, like that's really underrated. Like that's a big.
100%.
I was going to say,
help.
not everybody's comfortable with sharing their story, but
No.
if you can and you will, like you truly have no idea how big of a difference it makes. And it gets people talking. Like it makes it more comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, not everything has to be so taboo. Like
I was just about to say,
you know what I mean?
I think that's a gift of social media that has brought all of us as being able to talk about things that people really wouldn't have talked about before.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I mean, I didn't really suffer from any of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So I don't think I can really attest to anything that you guys went through besides the overstimulation and the rage sometimes. Still get that.
It's a real
from here.
thing.
Yeah. It's,
That's going to
it's
be a
tough.
lifelong journey in childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
For sure.
Early intervention is powerful, and just hopefully like us talking about that and like and explaining that there's resources available hopefully can, you know, connect and relate to another fellow mom and get you to get help or reach out to any of us. Our inbox is always open, and it's not taboo.
I think it's
really, real life.
It's really important that you like trust your provider as well, because you want somebody that's going to listen to you. And I felt like mine listened.
He's phenomenal.
And make sure you're really truthful. Because I think sometimes it's, like I said, this is my assumption because I've never done it, but I'd assume that there's probably some people that have went to a doctor and haven't been completely truthful because they don't want to look,
you don't
quote unquote crazy.
Right. It sounds good until you get in there and they're asking the questions and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You can't
set your
take
pride
crazy
aside
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to set your pride aside.
Yeah.
And just know like you're doing the best thing for you, your children, your husband, everything at that moment.
You have to show up for you first so you can show up for them.
Yeah.
It's really important.
And I think that's what I had to learn was that if I don't get help, this is not going to benefit them in any capacity.
Yeah.
So what do you think helped you the most?
Medication. I would say medication, honestly, but I also have a very supporting husband who is very those two know. He is completely opposite than I am. Like I am extroverted and loud and obnoxious, and that is not him at all. I think that he just he gave me my space, but also made sure that I felt protected and wanted and that I was doing a good job as a wife and as a mom. And, you know, she was my first C-section, that I was recovering well. Like he really just kind of took the reins and said, I've got this. You have to take care of you because they're counting on you for so much other stuff.
I love that.
So
She has me living in
shout out to
goosebumps
Jake.
over here.
I know.
Shout out
I'm
Jake.
getting teary-eyed over
Yeah,
here.
but shout out to
Sweet.
Lexapro because
I love it.
it's that was the medication that worked best for me. I had been on some stuff when I was in college that did not work, and I feel like the anxiety in me outside of pregnancy can really ebb and flow just in like whatever season of life I'm in. Like right now, I feel really, really good. So we've been able to reduce the amount of medication I take. I do also meet with a counselor. The kind of counselor I'm meeting with though is not to like deep dive into like past traumas. It's like to work on the here and now, like give you the tools in your toolbox to help you when you do get a panic attack or something like that. Like what are the things that you can do to calm you now rather than letting it like stew inside of you. So that's been really beneficial for me as well. That's and really getting a counselor that doesn't know your background 10 out of 10 recommend.
Did you choose to do in person or virtual?
I'm doing virtual just with like work schedule, and the ones where we live book so fast that it gets, and they're only like 25 minutes. That's truly all I need. Is
Well, that's
just
why
to,
I
like,
wanted to mention it to like let our followers know like there's options if you can't get somewhere, like you can literally do everything online now. And virtual is a big option, and it's widely resourceful. There's tons of options to reach out for that.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like to me like you have a new baseline to start functioning again.
I do.
So like the medication, the counseling helps create that baseline.
I think just finding time for yourself too makes such a big difference.
What did that look like for you? When did you really sit back and be like, okay, I have to make myself a priority, even if it's 10 minutes.
I was chomping at the bit like 6 weeks post C-section to get back to the things that, like working out, things that made me feel good, but I knew I was restricted with certain things. And I was very fortunate to have a 12-week maternity leave with Lainey.
That's
so
nice.
Daily walks were a must. Jake was off the entire time I was off, which was a huge blessing.
Oh my gosh.
So we got to just kind of really sink into that season of life with this third baby and just take it day by day. And then once he went back to work in December, it was like, all right, let's do this. So I had 4:30 alarms 3 days a week. I got up and I went to the gym, and I was home by 5:30 and made myself breakfast and had that quiet time, got the kids up and rolling. And I've learned that I do much better when I get that time in the morning without them.
Right.
And I know that sounds bad as a mom, but you've got to focus on you, because I can't pour into them unless I pour into myself first.
Absolutely.
Whether it's setting a timer
Yep.
to cry for 10 minutes, whether it's a sleep routine.
I do that in the shower.
I say I have to go to the bathroom, and then I go in the bathroom and just sit there for 10 minutes.
The bathroom time we've talked about.
Yeah.
Getting your nutrition in check. I mean, all of those are just small acts of healing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like underrated
And
too.
I think if you don't take those acts, sometimes I think the healing process takes a long time no matter what. The emotional, the mental, the physical. But at the same time, doing those small acts can help you build that healing, and so you feel stronger on the other side of it. So
absolutely. Back to
I know the flyers drive me absolutely nuts.
We all keep looking at each other. Jake had 16 weeks, didn't he?
Jake had 16
okay,
weeks of
can we just not
leave.
normalize like bringing?
Can we not normalize like other countries give the woman a year off?
Yeah.
Right.
And paid?
But like the husband, I think Josh got a week or two.
Yeah.
Basically, we
Trent
just used
used
1
1
week.
week.
Jake's other, like when we had Nori and Caden, Jake got 2 weeks and it was vacation time.
But it's
whereas
like mom is recovering from C-section. Like we need our man home work to help.
Their mom maternal leave at his company is phenomenal.
That's
Jelly.
absolutely no kidding.
Jelly.
Absolutely
I
incredible.
was so grateful that he has this position now where he spent, and he has the ability to work from home for a full week, a couple weeks out of the year. So like leading up to Lainey's delivery, like I was having some panic attacks. So he stayed home with me in case my water broke or, something like that, which it was all panic attacks. There was no water breaking.
And I think some of that might have even led into my anxiety, because maybe it's just me, but as a first-time physical mom, leaving the hospital, I'm like, this is real. Like, I finally get to do this, but y'all are trusting me to do this?
Yeah.
Like,
you didn't give me a class or nothing.
I would be like, can I put you in my pocket?
Yeah. Right. Like, I'm in charge now. Like, I am responsible. But I had Trent home for a week.
Yeah.
So then it felt okay.
Yeah.
And then after he left after that week, I'm like, oh my gosh. Now I'm doing it by myself.
And I think moms don't have a choice but to step up and just do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the husbands go back to
Absolutely.
work and it's like,
Here we are.
I can do this.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Or can I?
Yeah. Who can I call if I need something?
So
Right.
one of the questions is, did you feel pressure to bounce back, basically, like emotionally and physically, right away?
Yeah. I was in the best shape of my life before I had Lainey. And so there was an expectation that I felt like I was just going to
Get right back
into it.
Yeah.
And then I had a C-section.
God
and I
said,
thought, I don't think so.
Let's slow it down, Caitlyn.
Yeah, slow down. I think there is that pressure, but like Lainey's our last. And so I think I really just tried to soak it into, like I've really had, I hate to use this term because it drives me nuts, but I've had more mindful moments where I'm like contact napping with her. And I'm like, I'm going to do this because I don't know when the next time she's going to say, don't hold me.
Yep.
Or I'm going to sit outside and watch my big kids play and chase fireflies because I don't know the last time that Nora's going to say, I'm too big to do this now. Like, I'm really just like taking it in a lot more. And I think knowing now, like the chapter of us having children was so long of IVF and having deliveries. Emotionally. And it was emotionally draining. And now I feel like Jake and I are at a point where the chapter of having children is closed and we're focusing on each other a lot more in how to show up to be Jake and Caitlyn outside of mom and dad while raising 3 children. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very important.
So important.
So important. I mean, I'm sure that's a topic for another episode, but yeah, it's super important to show up for yourself and your spouse because once the kids leave, what do you
I had a coworker
one
time tell me.
That'll our next topic.
Yeah. Oh, good. Because I'm ready.
I had a coworker tell me one time, she said her kids were grown and out of the house, and she said at the end of the day, once your kids are all gone and graduated, you don't want to look across the table, the dinner table from your spouse and say, who are you?
You're strangers.
I don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could never do that with Jake. I've dated him too.
That's insane. I just want to say how cool that is because it's really like rare to see somebody so young make it.
Yeah.
I know that
you've been together longer than you've been apart.
Yeah. I think it helped with the whole IVF and the PPD and anxiety because he kind of knew how to handle you.
Oh, 100%.
You know, not that you like need handled, but
he knows the personality of not pregnant Caitlyn, postpartum Caitlyn. He's got
Goofy,
it all.
Happy, funny, sad, depressed, all
he's got it all.
Yeah. What do you feel like, is there anything that you wish somebody would have said to you, like during that season of postpartum depression?
Or could somebody have shown up for you any differently?
I had
other than
so
Jake?
many people show up, though. I mean, I really did. Just like people, nurses who would ask if I was still doing okay, knowing that Lainey's delivery was a little bit more challenging than the others. Coworkers, I work remotely. I work remotely. And I have coworkers in Chicago, in Indiana, and California, and Seattle, and New York, and all these places. And I had text messages after they found out I delivered, asking if I was okay, if there was anything that they could do for me, like they could ship to me. They obviously can't ship themselves to help me. My mom is like my best friend, and she came over and did laundry and helped me clean. And I have friends who just showed up, family that showed up, and I think Nora showed up in a big way too, my oldest, because number one, she got a sister, so she was really pumped.
Oh, of course.
Number two, she felt this like deep sense of responsibility of, hey, mom needs my help now. And I don't know that they realized how difficult delivering was until I showed them my C-section scar. And because Caden said, you have a boo-boo. And I said, I do. And he goes, can I see it? And I said, sure.
Yeah.
So I showed him, and he goes, well, no wonder you sit in that recliner all the time. That it hurt.
That's when the story of the baby came from mommy's belly can actually be like.
It really did that time.
Yeah.
It really did.
Straight out.
I love that.
And I love that for your oldest, because I feel like that's an oldest child thing, because I feel like you have a connection with each kid differently.
Different.
Not saying that you love them any different, okay? But I
no
feel
matter
like,
what the kids say.
Right. No matter what they say.
Right. Oh, you like him more. No, he listened, okay?
Yeah.
But I love that she stepped up because I see it in my oldest too, when it's almost like they sense mom is struggling and they're like, okay, well, do you want a glass of water? Or just like little things you're like, that's really sweet. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
And then they spill the water carrying it over.
and then that's the overstimming part.
Like, I think you're so right with their personality types. Like Chandra's the oldest of girls. I am the oldest of 3 girls. Like her and I have connected. When Courtney had Gatlin, we just held each other and sobbed in the hallway because as older sisters, we want to take that pain away.
I think you were the first person I actually called.
Yeah.
Do you know all 3 of you were there?
Yeah.
And it's just,
I got a visitor.
It's okay.
What's the matter? Yeah, you want one of those donuts? Go for it.
Seen it raw people. Listen, we got kids all the time. All right, this shouldn't be anything new. It's called Motherhood Unhinged.
I know you guys talk about like your oldest stepping up. It's Jordan, James, and then Lexi. And Lexi's actually the youngest before we brought home Ivy. And Lexi has just watched me do so many mom things for so long that Lexi is literally the little mom.
She's the mother hen.
She's like she's the only girl though before Ivy. So
I was just
I
about to say,
I feel like there's something different about girls to boys.
Well, and I think that goes back to just the like natural nurturing mother instincts, even at a young age, you see it in girls.
She wants to do everything with Lainey. She wants to pick her up. She wants to make a bottle. She she doesn't want to change diapers, but she wants to do everything else.
Well, and I think as a little girl, they're like, I want to be like mom. You know what I mean? So to see you doing the things.
Yes. And I literally just talked about this with friends of mine the other day. I look at my mom and I'm like, how in the heck did you do all of this? And she just did. And so now I feel like I'm like, I'm just going to do it. She's going to like it or she's not going to like it. Right. And the birth order too, though, like girl, boy, girl, it's not favorites. It's their personalities.
Absolutely.
Nor is the mother hen. Caden is the tornado that blows through the house every day. And then you got Lainey who just stares at him like, this is what I have to grow up with. Yes. You know, like you just don't know.
We just talked about this with our mom at church yesterday. Chandra was like, I just want to say I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did. Because like we're 15 months apart. Mm-hmm. So like my mom was what? I don't know, 6 months old when mom found out.
I was going to say, she pretty much went back to back is what happened.
And so I'm like, I don't know how she did it.
Right.
But I feel like, honestly, though, like some things I feel like were easier for mom. Because, like, for example, I have 11, almost 2 8-year-olds, and then a toddler. So it's like school sporting events, you know, driving physically out of the house, which is a whole nother fiasco with the toddler packing around. Mm-hmm. But then, like, my mom's scenario was 2 little babies under the roof. You don't have to leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I don't know how you did crying, bottles, feeding, schedule, routine with $2, but I'm looking at myself some days and I'm like, how in the hell am I doing?
Yeah. I bet they just totally each have their own challenges.
Yeah. And I think now in motherhood, there's just we want our child to do more. We want to do more. And like now we're getting to the point where the kids want to do activities and it's like, okay, so who's going to stay home and keep the toddler while the other person goes here, here, and here. And sometimes you just got to pack it all up and let's go.
Because that rolls in more anxiety. Like
100%.
When people have to take care of your kids that aren't in their normal routine. And then it's like, that's where my anxiety comes
That's when my watch says, it looks like you've had some stressful moments.
You want to let's take a deep breath.
Yes. Your body.
I get a lot of anxiety about that too. We rarely ask anybody to watch Langston. And it's not because I don't.
It's not that you don't trust people. It's
no, that's my reason. I don't trust people.
Well, I love the honesty. But it's like
differently.
They don't do it like I do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
And like with Josh's first marriage, they had a lot of help from grandparents and a lot of like the kids being with the grandparents all the time. And then whenever I came in, it's like, I want to raise the kids and I want us to have a routine and in a certain house schedule. Right. And so it's been a little bit of like a lot of communication on him and I's behalf because like I get that anxiety and I get that they're not running it like I would prefer. Right. So it's like that is like for my mental health too. It's
a hard pill to swallow to like let go of that anxiety. And like at the end of the day, somebody said they're just kids, and I said you're 100% right. So like my kids didn't have camp the week of the 4th of July, so we booked our favorite high school babysitter, and she has a pool, and she's like, "Can I take them swimming?" And I could feel that mom anxiety coming into my gut. And I was like, you know what? You trust her and you trust your children to listen, even though they don't listen to you, they listen to her. So I was like, puddle jumper, stay on the entire time. And Jake was like, look at you letting go of stuff.
And
I was like, so proud of you.
Do I get a cookie?
Yes, because I cannot believe that. Because if you knew Caitlyn, like this is a huge step.
That's tough.
But like, I mean, as long as you trust that person and you keep those on and you know they're watching over them.
And she was right down the road from us. Like, I knew that if something happened, she was going to call me and say, hey, I need you.
Right.
You know, and whatever else. So I don't worry about that with my parents, but other people, like, even when Katera watches the kids, I'm like, are they good? And she's like, I've watched kids. I'm like, I know you have.
I know.
Our brains.
Sure, they're okay.
Mom brain is a constant spiral.
Yeah. Jake's like, no wonder you don't sleep at night. You think about this shit all the time. And I was like, well, welcome to motherhood.
Literally.
Well, you just saw him off next to me.
I just did that with my aunt when we were in Texas when she was watching the kids. Yeah. And I'm like, are they good? Are they being good? Are they listening? And she's like, Chelsea, if you text me again, like I haven't raised 6 of you, and I'm like, I'm just making sure they're not trying to tear your house down.
If you leave me unread or you don't respond in a certain amount of time, then it stems even worse. More.
You're like, prepare for me to show up.
Yeah. I'm coming to bang on your door.
It's like the Terminator showing
up. But
up.
honestly, I think it's just a mom thing. Like, if we aren't checking in, what are we doing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are we doing our job?
Do we know anything different than that?
Right.
Yeah.
I know this is a huge question, but we're talking about raw and like how open we hope people can be about talking about mental health. Like, was there any moments you ever had intrusive thoughts?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. When I went to our doctor, I don't know if I can name drop. When I went to Dr. Rogers and asked him about the things, he's like, well, tell me a little bit about where this anxiety is stemming from. I was like, do you ever have the fear that somebody's going to open your child's window and take them out of it? And he was like, no, that's not normal. We should not be thinking like that. And he did not do it in that blunt of a tone, obviously. Yeah. He said, I want you to know that intrusive thoughts are normal, but they are not normal all the time. Yeah. I would not go anywhere by myself. If Jake was not with me, my mom or my dad were not with me, it was a no-go. I wouldn't go to Target by myself. I wouldn't go to the grocery store by myself. We stopped going to church for a long time just because I'm a people watcher, and if somebody makes the wrong motion, I'm immediately freaked out. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it all stemmed from. But a lot of my postpartum depression and anxiety were intrusive thoughts. I had the intrusive thought that Jake was going to leave me because I was off the charts with it. I had intrusive thoughts that if I dropped my child off at school, that she wasn't going to line up when it was time to go in for recess and she was going to run out onto St. Joe, like that the kids' windows were going to be open. Like there were multiple times a night that I was up checking on them to make sure they were okay. That, you know, and
this happened after delivery?
After delivery. Yeah.
It sounds like it's just super unpredictable.
It is.
Like you don't know what you're going to think or when.
And I think it's such a roller coaster too, because it was very much the heaviness and depression, like the darkness. Like I think I was like grieving the loss that like this was my last baby. Like that chapter was closing for me. And
you were trying to protect
it. Was the coexistence again. Mm-hmm. It was the joy and it was the grief. It was the joy that I had 3 children that doctors told me I probably would never have, but it was the grief knowing that my body was not going to grow another human. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to feel both of those things. Mm-hmm. So the depression and then the anxiety with how little she was, and I just cried because she was cute, and I cried because she was crying all the time and she shrieks and all this stuff. But then it went into those intrusive thoughts, and I could not. It was the runaway train that you couldn't catch.
Yes.
And it was awful. I would send myself into spirals.
Yes.
I called our doctor's office one day. I was like, I think I'm having a heart attack. Like I had pain in my chest, in my shoulder. They sent me to the ER, and it was a panic attack. And ultimately, I think that's what made me pass out on Lainey's delivery day.
Really?
I think I had tailspinned myself into an anxiety attack and collapsed.
Was everything good during that stress test? Prior to leading up to the panic attack?
My blood pressure was like stroke-like. It was very high.
Maybe it was because of the panic attack?
Probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm having some, as her birthday comes up, I told Dr. Rogers last week, I said, I'm having flashbacks of her delivery. And he said, that sounds like some sort of PTSD that you might want to talk through with like your counselor, which I have an appointment this week. So it's definitely something I will, because everything was such a blur that day for me. I don't remember a lot of it. I can see faces and I can hear voices and I can hear beeps and things like that, but I don't truly know.
It's so crazy because Trent and I, we knew something. Yeah. So we actually had our son, and then Caitlyn had texted and was like, can we come visit you guys after my non-stress test? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And when they didn't show up to my room, I looked at Trent. I'm like, they're having their baby. Something's going on.
I think her delivery really just kind of tailspinned me even further into that. I don't even know that it was the anxiety piece. I think it was the depression piece. Like you go in with this birth plan, and like I had really good births with Nora and Caden, and then it just went out the window with her. And that's okay.
You can just God telling us again that we are not in control.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
That's exactly
Gotta
right.
have faith.
Yep.
For sure. Well, did you always feel, I know Jake was a super big support. Mm-hmm. Did you always feel like you could go to him and tell him everything you thought, or did you feel like you needed to hide a little bit of it?
Yeah.
To not freak him out?
I think you kind of try to tuck your inner freak in a little bit. For me, it was hard because Jake and I have always had really, really good communications skills with each other, but I think sometimes it's really hard for me to ask for help. And so a lot of times he'll say, like give me a list and I will do what is on the list. And I'm like, okay. And I think postpartum, with this last one, I think he really just picked up on, she's struggling a lot more this go around. Like, I just need to make sure. And he's like, can I take her so you can nap? And I'm like, I just want to nap with her. Like, I want her on me. And he's like, that's fine. I'll just like empty the dishwasher. But I think it was a heavy load that you don't want to pass off on somebody. So I think there's a little bit of both to that question. I think that I did try to tuck some of it in, but then at some point you have to surrender and say, I can't do this. I couldn't pick my other two up.
That's why it takes two people to make a baby.
Yeah.
It takes two people to
Took three for us. I mean, the doctors were great, but well, okay, fair enough.
Science.
But, yeah, we love it. So, yeah.
Okay, well, another question that I actually really wanted to mention was there a moment that really stood out to you that made you feel the most overwhelmed? So, like, what can you kind of connect to other moms? What do you think in motherhood, and this is for all of us to answer, will really be that overwhelming moment?
It's when everybody needs something at the same time. So when you have the baby crying in your arms because they're hungry, you have the toddler in the bathroom who wants their butt wiped, and then you have the oldest one saying, can I have a snack?
Uh-huh.
And it all adds up, and all your senses are firing at the same time because the baby's screaming in your ear, the toddler's screaming from the bathroom, and then the oldest is, she can do it herself, but she refuses to.
Right.
And so everything kind of creeps up on you. And I think in other situations, it's not always them needing something. It's that sometimes I want to sit and do nothing. Yeah. I want to read a chapter in my book without being interrupted, or I want to watch Love Island and not be interrupted, or something like that.
Be your own person.
But then I look at the mess in the house. Somebody needs a diaper change, or somebody needs a snack, or somebody needs a shower, or somebody's, something else. And then it's like, where do you even start?
Because like you're one person, they're three, and yet you're supposed to take care of each of them and yourself.
Yeah. And Jake and I have really had to like divvy up response. So Lainey is a stage 5 mom clinger, like does not like really anybody else.
That's my Ivy.
And that is overwhelming.
It is.
It's so overwhelming. And I didn't realize. It makes you feel rage. 100%.
And I'm like, I will look at her and be like, why can't you like your dad as much as you like me? You have a dad. And I tell her that. Yeah. I'm like, you have a dad.
Sometimes I just
don't just have a mom.
Back her up to Jake so she can't.
And then you have to leave the room and you hear them screaming bloody murder. And that's whenever I'm peeing.
And then that's when the rage goes off in my head of like, why can't we figure this out? Yeah. And then I go back to the coexistence piece. I'm going to enjoy her being a stage 5 clinger because she's my last baby. But at the same time, I am exhausted because you only want me.
It's a catch-22.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. And then just a little side note off that, when you said that the baby's screaming out of the room when they're with the dad, then I start to spiral in a different sense of not only that, but then I'm like, well, he probably feels like crap because the baby doesn't want him. Yep. So now he's probably spiraling in there, and I'm forcing him to spiral because I'm spiraling. So now I need to go back in there and just deal with the spiraling because I don't want him to do it.
And then it's just a big spiral
like, why
household.
Are you taking her? I'm like, because I can't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
But last night, because Josh has been working the late shift for the last 5 days in a row, last night he got home. Ivy wanted him 100%. So he soaked that in. He like sat on the floor, like did everything with her. And I'm like, oh, I just love this. I feel so good right now. Like I can wash dishes and I can do this. And oh my God, it is a world changing thing.
And I think the need of the child also goes back to the guilt though too. Of they want you all the time and then you feel guilty. For me, I feel guilty that I'm not spending more quality time with Nora and Caden. Mm-hmm. So like yesterday she was down for a nap and I did not get up early because it was a weekend. So I spent an hour of it working on like myself, and then I pulled out a book with Nora and read with her while she napped, and then she got up and ate and crawled all over the floor, and it was like, okay, are we finding a balance now? And I think it really just takes time.
It does.
And I think it takes mom realizing that she can't do it all. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to ask for help.
That's really hard.
It's so hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Like we did that the other day. I took the bigs myself because Josh was working, and I just took all 3 bigs and we went to the movies. Yeah. And I'm like, just have some time with them, because I was away from the baby at the moment.
I get choked up thinking about how grown my older 2 are getting, and it crushes me. Like, Nora went to a friend's house for the first time that wasn't family this weekend, and she had the time of her life, and they were begging for a sleepover. I'm like, am I ready for this? Am I old enough to have a child that wants to do this already? Like, it like her going into 1st grade, I'm like, that seems so old. Like,
oh my
when
gosh.
did you get so big? it's
I love
tough.
that for you. Keep soaking out, because then
I
you'll be
know.
like me, where they're going to the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Well, even though I
Oh
didn't
my
birth
gosh.
Jordan, he's going into 5th grade at middle school, and it's like, holy cow! I
It's
have
a gut
middle
punch.
schooler?
It's
It
a
really
gut
is.
punch.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me feel old.
I know.
Like, holy
And I'm
cow.
over here just wondering how year 1 is almost over.
I will tell
Like we're
you,
planning first birthday parties,
know.
and
Yeah.
I don't
cry
even-
every birthday my child has, and I literally just say thank you God for another year with this baby.
Literally.
We had our first birthday shoot the other day, and I was just in disbelief sitting there watching him. Like, obviously, he's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I'm just like, we did it. Like, we're almost
it.
a year in, and I'm...
That's kind of like there was a reel on Instagram. I'll have to find it, but it was the voiceover from not the Emoji Movie, Inside Out. And it was Joy saying, we did it. And it was a mom who had done infertility. And it was like, you got your baby. And it was like, you're not coming with me. Like that version of Kaitlyn as an infertile, want to have a baby desperately. And now mom Kaitlyn, like coexisting, but also closing that door. Like that's what that makes me think of.
Yeah.
It's enough to make me get crying over here. Stop it. All
I
right, we're
love
going to have to move on,
infertility
people.
talks. I can't wait till we have that podcast date. Final question before we wrap it up.
Okay.
What was the thing you were most afraid to say or admit out loud during like your lowest of lows?
I have severe postpartum anxiety and depression.
Was just the admitting.
It was
the
just
admittance?
admitting, and I felt like I could be honest with some people, but other people you kind of put that front on of I have my shit together.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
No.
Nobody does.
Anybody tells you that, they're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need to drive down the road in your Honda Odyssey with your windows rolled down, listening to a song that makes you feel good, don't judge them. Just wave to them and say, "You go, girl." Like
Go.
it's,
Get it, girl.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think just admitting it, but also like knowing that my emotions were so out of whack. Like it was so hard to like, I mean, there were times like postpartum that I would go and get my hair done and I was on the verge of tears the whole time and I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say, hey, I'm going to start crying. Just ignore me. Like, you don't
No,
wanna
and I
say
mean, I
that.
think you did. We cried together
We did.
multiple times. And
We
I mean,
did.
that's okay. And I just want to say I don't want to get emotional. Stop.
Oh, here we
I'm
go.
so proud of you. Like, I cannot even tell you how proud of you I am.
It's so hard.
Oh, no.
Tissues.
This is going to spiral, guys. We got to stop.
You feel so isolated for so long, and you have this baby, and you're like, I am being sent home to take care of this baby. But when you have people who have babies really close to you, I mean, we took a picture at Christmas because all of them were within a year of each other. And I think I've had friends who have had babies. I've had friends who have gone through hard times, and like, your hard time is not going to look the same as everybody else's. But at the end of the day, if you have somebody that just says like, I'm so proud of you, like that's it. That's all that there is to it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
It's a huge thing to celebrate. You survived bringing a life into the world.
Yeah.
You survived raising them while you've also survived taking care of yourself
Yeah.
and putting yourself above.
Yeah.
And like that takes a lot.
And I think that's a huge message I want to get across is like, don't be afraid to take care of yourself. Like if that means that you are staying up a little bit later to read after your kids go to bed, or if that means going for a walk in silence or driving in silence for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
it's all self-care.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think if you don't do that, you're gonna burn out so fast.
Oh, it's going to be a bad
So
burnout,
fast. And
It's-
there's a lot to be said for medication. There's a lot to be said for therapy. But I finally feel like at a year postpartum, I'm starting to come out of that fog just a little bit more.
It takes a ton of time for emotions and mentality and hormones to all get back in balance.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. It's the human body is just crazy.
But then when you try to work on yourself on top of like IVF medication and then like
oh yeah.
pain medication post C-section and things like that, like you're also trying to find the best version of yourself, and it's like, okay, what can I cut from here without it totally affecting like my head and like mental state and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, at the end of the day, just find somebody that's going to cheer you on your good days and your bad days, and
Absolutely.
tell you that they're
Amen.
proud of you. So
That's very important.
yeah.
So like for all the moms that are in the thick of it, we want you to know like you're not broken. It's not your fault. You're very loved, and we promise that you will find that joy again.
And you're still a good mom.
Yes.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Help exists. I mean, you got 4 women right here. Like, we're just a message away. Your doctors, your counselors, anybody. A teacher that, like, you know, became friends with after school. Like, anything, anybody, just reach out to them. support. Healing is possible. It's not the end of the world.
Don't feel as if you're a burden, because you're not.
Yeah.
I know it's hard.
And don't be afraid to talk to your spouse. If you're not honest with them about what's going on, they're never going to know what's running through that head of yours, no matter how long you've been together.
No.
They don't know.
No.
They don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Kaitlyn, for joining us today. And to all the moms out there, like we said, our inbox is open. You're never alone. But until next time, we are
Motherhood Unhinged.